What I'm going to look at now is this wiring here has got to be relocated, and I'm envisaging that that will go under the seat. Now, under the existing and standard seat, it is raised slightly, and I've got some rubber bungs to increase the height of that by about an inch, or 25mm. But there is also within the seat itself a little compartment for a toolkit. I might say, oh, you need that toolkit. I've never actually used the toolkit. Oh, I did on one occasion when a friend of mine had an R1 who'd been out in the snow, and all his rear sets froze up and corroded. So, but needs must, and so the area that toolkit sits within the seat has got a little flap. I've taken that flap off, and I've just constructed here in cardboard a little box light, which just to test so that I know that that area is free to put these wires in, and the seat still goes down. It doesn't foul that at all, because that fits into that little toolbox area within the actual seat itself. So that's my current thinking. What I've forgotten to do, or couldn't really sort of schedule at the time, I guess, was form the bracket. So as I said, I've identified an area here which is the toolbox space, and this bracket, which I've chopped down, I need to fix onto that plate. It's the main fuse box. It's a plastic sort of bracket, so I want to weld a stud on here, just so that I can put with a single nut, just to sort of hold that in place. Don't want the main fuse box floating around. Hoping that it won't burn off the paint on the back side. It's only just a couple of spot welds. We'll see. So this is what I'm going to be welding on. It's just a crosshead screw. It's quite a small screw. I don't want it sticking up and then have to chop it off. I'm going to put a nylock nut on the back, and I've just angle grinded it flat so that I can just put a couple of spot welds. So I just need to clean off the paint, a couple of spot welds, and hopefully job done without too much disruption to the existing paint. God, almost forgot. I can hear people screaming, disconnect the battery. God, how scary is that? Right, let's come back to that in a second. Let me just disconnect the battery. Okay. It's one of those last minute jobs you think, oh, I'll just do that and blow up all the ECU. God, careful. This is the problem with keep coming back and doing bits, and I probably do 2 half days or 1 day a week where I can get in the garage, and it's the lack of continuity of not planning and executing, which is quite difficult. All right, let's disconnect the battery and start again. Bubble the paint a little bit on the underside, but I'll live with that. The other way of doing this, which I considered, was just drilling through and putting a domed head Allen bolt, but I just want it in a finished state to be completely clear on the underside, and that looks alright. Yeah, I should just grind off a little bit of the excess. So there is the modified airbox. I've taken off the rubber gaiter, and I've installed a perforated aluminium, which I've sprayed satin black, so that just hopefully won't impede the airflow, but at the same time will stop any leaves or anything like that getting sucked in, any debris. So I'm going to put that on, but that's just to protect the any screws from falling down while I do some wiring and bits and pieces. There are the tail lights. I did at the end of the last time I was in the garage, I was starting to check out how to connect these type of resistors, which are available on eBay, and that's just to get over the problem of the relay or the ECU flashing the indicators too quickly because we've moved from bulbs to LEDs. And strangely enough, I couldn't get them to work, and I tried various different ways of wiring them, and it turns out that if, or as long as you have what appears to be balanced indicators at the front and the rear, the ECU flashes the indicator at a normal rate, which is good because that's another couple of clunky old bits of electrical wiring that don't have to go in. So all I need to do is connect the existing wiring loom straight onto the new indicators. I'll do that via some multiple connectors which I bought, and I will solder those in as well as crimp them and so on. But yeah, so that's encouraging. And the backlight was LED anyway, so the LEDs for these backlights, tail lights, should hopefully be the same. So that's encouraging. Right, let's get on. Right, so these are the tail lights, and they're just a bit like bar end. There's a nut in there that as you do it up, it expands and wedges itself in the end of the tubing. So I put 2 layers of heat shrink tubing in increasing sizes around there, just so that there's no chafing going on that might cut through the wires. And where the wire will come through the hole in the frame, I'll do the same, which I've done around the other side. So where it comes out here, I will just tuck a couple of pieces of tubing on there, heat shrink tubing, so that I've got enough cable to take it out and replace it if necessary, and then just pop that back in. So that's what I'm going to do now. Of course, the answer, don't use the wrong hand. So all the others I did with the right hand. And there we have it. So I'll just leave just enough wire hanging there to allow me to change it should it go wrong, without threading all this wire back and so on. A slightly bigger one over the top of that, and it just kind of provides a little bit more of a robust insulation to stop any sharp edges over time wearing through the wires and shorten the circuit. So if you can see that, so there's the heat shrink insulation on there, and obviously the heat shrink insulation just there, just to provide that extra bit of strength. So haven't wired in the front indicator, so the indicators are flashing too quick at the moment, but I have tested that out and it works okay, which is good. And tail lights are in, and so is the brake lamp. So not tail but just brake. Cool. And of course the number plate light. Getting there, so many things to do still, but having great fun.